Hello, my name is Amanda. I am a learning designer on the innovation team at Dementia Australia. Dementia Australia is the peak body for all people living with dementia and those involved in their care. And we provide many services that are funded by the Australian government, such as counselling, family carer education and support. We also advocate for policy and social change and give voices to people living with dementia. We also provide dementia education to the workforce. And our team, the Innovation Learning Design, we write and design the education. We do this to be accessible, innovative, and in line with current research, best practice, and the regulatory standards in industry and healthcare. Today, I'm going to talk about bridging the training gaps in dementia care with a focus on evidence-based microlearning solutions. So to start with, let's start off with a moment. It's 7:30 p.m. and Maria is a home care worker. She is supporting a client living with dementia. He becomes agitated. He doesn't recognize his home, and he is insisting that he needs to go home, not realizing he is at home. Maria hasn't seen this behavior before. She's alone. She's got no colleagues around to ask, no supervisor nearby, and in that moment, she doesn't know how to respond. Right now, she doesn't need a textbook. What she does need is confidence, clarity, and immediate guidance. So this moment is happening thousands of times every day all across the world. Globally, over 57 million people live with dementia today. By 2050, that number is expected to almost triple to 140 million people. In Australia, dementia is now the leading cause of death, with an estimated 446,500 Australians living with a diagnosis of dementia. And critically, the majority of care is shifting into homes and communities. So this brings us back to Maria. Care is no longer centred in hospitals or in residential care facilities. It's happening in living rooms, kitchens, and community settings. And it's delivered by a workforce that is often time poor, geographically dispersed, they're working independently, and they're often untrained. These carers are essential, but they are often under-supported. In Australia, there are over 106 million people involved in the care of someone living with dementia. And in residential care settings, personal care workers make up about 70% of the workforce that provides direct care to people living with dementia. While many of these care workers hold a Certificate 3 in aged care, these qualifications are not mandatory, and dementia education or dementia skill qualifications are certainly not mandatory. Up to 90% of people who are living with dementia will experience change behaviours at some stage. And because of the lack of training, this can leave many care workers feeling unsure how to respond and know how to provide appropriate support. And as a result, caregivers and family members often feel stressed, and this can negatively impact the person they're supporting. So there are barriers related to traditional training. So traditional training does ask carers to step away from work and attend long sessions and absorb large amounts of information. But in reality, they don't have the time, they may not have access, and even when they do, retention is often low. So when staff or carers like Maria, they need knowledge and support the most, it's often not there. But can we reframe this problem? What if we stop thinking about training as something separate from care? And instead of asking, how do we get carers to attend training? We asked, how do we support carers in the exact moment they need it? Not later, not in theory, but in practice, in that moment. And that is what we did. Ask Annie is a mobile microlearning app developed by our team at Dementia Australia. It delivers short, focused learning for care workers, as it was difficult for staff to attend and access education. This app is designed specifically using real-world dementia care scenarios that they could carry with them to fit into their workflow and not compete against it. The courses on Ask Annie are all designed to be microlearning. So this means that information is presented in bite-sized chunks, focusing on one skill at a time, with each lesson only taking 5 to 10 minutes to complete. So CAUSED is the problem-solving framework that we developed to identify possible triggers to change behaviours. Ask Annie has several courses, which I'll show you on the next slide, but the main course is built around the CAUSED model. And each module focuses on one element of CAUSED that focuses on the skills that are relative to that element to support change behaviour. This is so that the learners have a quick, like a go-to guide in their phone to help support them with some of the daily challenges that they may be supporting a person with. So you will see here under the CAUSED structure there are 12 lessons that will focus on how to communicate, so under C. So this offers various communication strategies. There are 9 lessons that are focused on how to identify difficulties due to an activity and then how to break the activity down into achievable steps. For you, there are 9 lessons focused on how to identify if the person's change behaviour is due to being unwell or having an unmet need. For story, there are 6 lessons that focus on the person's background and how to learn more about the person. And also in the residential care version, there are an additional 6 lessons that are focused on a trauma approach to care to identify if there's trauma in the person's background. The environment module has 8 lessons, and that helps to identify potential environmental triggers and how to adapt the environment to be more dementia friendly. And finally, 6 lessons focus on how to identify the difficulties due to the type of symptoms of dementia the person may be experiencing. So this is a list of courses that are available on the app. The users can select the pathway they want, or if an organisation has a licence, they can allocate a pathway for their staff. So you'll see down here, the CAUSED has a home and community care option or CAUSED for residential care. And we have a Greek version as well. And so this is the main course on the app, and it's contextualized to the environment. So for people living in, working in home and community, all the scenarios and the challenges that they face are based upon working in someone's home or in the community, whereas in residential care, it's got all the nuances involved in living in a facility. The Greek version, we were commissioned to adapt the home and community one to use Greek subtitles and to adapt support with a Greek context, so taking that into consideration as well. And then you've got some additional lessons on there too, where they can extend their skills for elder abuse, like how to identify elder abuse, motor neuron disease. So that's often associated with frontotemporal dementia and people who are under the age of 65, and also a palliative approach to dementia care. And that focuses on end-of-life support for people living with dementia. Up the top, we've got like the lead the team, and that's around planning behaviour support. In Australia, we have a regulation which is called our behaviour support plan, and that is before any use of restrictive practices are used, the person does need to have a behaviour support plan, and the behaviour support plan outlines, what the triggers to the change behaviours are and what the strategies are in supporting that person. So this course goes through exactly that, how to identify the triggers, how to develop person-centered strategies, and then how do you maintain your behaviour support plan and what information is required. And then at the very beginning, we've got Build Your Knowledge. And these are our fundamental essential courses, and these focus on things like, attitude, having a helpful attitude. It focuses on basic things like human rights, understanding dignity of risk, key body language. So all of those like fundamental key knowledge is in that build your knowledge section there. Overall, there's over 100 lessons on the app at the moment. So let's go back to Maria. So this time she's reaching for her phone and she opens Ask Annie and she selects a short module. And within minutes, she's guided through why this behaviour is happening, what the person may be experiencing, and she gets some practical strategies that she can immediately use. And most importantly, she feels reassured. So next time she has more confidence, she knows what to do. So microlearning works because it aligns with how we actually learn under pressure. It reduces cognitive overload. It focuses on one concept at a time, and it enables immediate application. This increases completion rates significantly, and it isn't just about convenience, it's evidence-based learning design. Ask Annie has already reached over 40,000 users globally, and feedback consistently shows us that users have increased in confidence, they have a better understanding of dementia and the behaviours that they observe, and a stronger ability to respond to complex situations. So it's making a difference. So we've taken this further and we've expanded the Ask Annie platform with the extension of Teltina. Teltina is an embedded tool that helps carers to identify their strengths and gaps through guided questioning. It's a training analysis tool, training needs analysis. This is TINA. This is the first of its kind in Australia, and it aligns learning with national standards and it begins to personalise the experience. Teltina identifies learning gaps, it maps capability, and it aligns to the Australian quality care standards. Here in Australia, the government commissioned a national dementia education training and standards framework and for this to be developed. So the content within Teltina was mapped to reflect this framework, which provides 14 key domains of learning. So these domains include dementia awareness and understanding. So that's basically what it says, awareness of dementia and what is your understanding of dementia. So that's your fundamental knowledge. It focuses on physical well-being, so some of the health conditions that can occur with dementia and the importance of maintaining physical well-being, working in partnership with families and carers, emotional well-being and mental health, diversity, dementia diagnosis and support, enabling environments, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, they're our Indigenous people in Australia, communication and connection, end of life, human rights, ethics and supporting autonomy, person-centred care, independence and enablement, and behaviour. So the knowledge, confidence and skills of users are mapped against all of these domains, and this identifies any gaps. So we can then target the education that they need. So Teltina doesn't just support individuals, it provides real-time insights for organisations. So organisations learn where capability gaps exist, what training is needed and what they need to plan for, and how their workforce is evolving. So this allows for targeted strategic workforce development. So here's a little video to explain some more.
Hello and welcome. I'm Tina and I'm here to introduce you to Teltina, our new dementia-specific training needs analysis tool. Developed by Dementia Australia, this tool is designed to support organisations to better understand the strengths and capabilities of their dementia care workforce. Mapped to the recently released National Dementia Education and Training Standards Framework, it can help your organisation build a comprehensive dementia care training strategy. And, with the strengthened aged care quality standards placing greater focus on dementia, providers need more than training. They need clarity, direction, and evidence of outcomes. That's where Teltina comes in. Teltina will give your organisation the evidence it needs to demonstrate real commitment to dementia-specific education. Tell Tina delivers clear data on staff training and education needs, turning insight into action. It helps meet compliance requirements with confidence. With Tell Tina, you're not just meeting the standards, we'll help you exceed them. So now let's take a look at how Tell Tina works. Organizations can arrange access to preview the app. Once downloaded, participants can select the preview button to begin. A few quick loading screens will appear as the app gets things ready. It won't take long. After this, participants will be prompted to select their role and share a bit about their experience and confidence in supporting people living with dementia. Then they'll be asked to answer questions that explore their dementia knowledge to discover where their skills can be improved. Each question has a video and a statement that comes with it.
Living with dementia, it is best to avoid me when I am agitated.
Participants will be asked to select the answer that best reflects their understanding. One of the big benefits is being able to see results in real time, across different organizational sites or down to how each individual is tracking. The Training Recommendations Report gives a simple snapshot of each team member's training progress, their attitude to dementia care, and how they're going across different care domains. You can also filter the data by different categories, such as site, care domain, and role, making it easier to identify trends and target training where it's needed most. What sets Tell Tina apart from anything else on the market is simple. We'll help you identify knowledge and skills gaps in dementia care, so your teams can stay focused on delivering quality support. To find out more, get in touch with one of our business solutions specialists. Let's move forward. Hello, and welcome.
So the next step is to expand the Ask Annie platform even further to include Ask Annie Anything. Ask Annie Anything is an interactive avatar that allows carers to ask questions in real time. They can navigate scenarios conversationally and receive guidance that is even more personalised for both the user and the person they are supporting. So this brings us even closer to on-demand human support. Ask Annie Anything is still in development, but I've got a little teaser video to show you. But the bigger picture about all this is, at its core, it isn't about technology. It's about people. And when we support carers with the right tools, the right knowledge, in the right way, at the right time, we improve outcomes for people living with dementia. So let's quickly return to Maria one final time. This time, because Maria is supported and has access to education and information, she has a better understanding about what's happening for her client. She now knows to speak calmly. She knows to validate his reality. He feels reassured and he now settles. So this is not because Maria is more experienced, but because she was better supported. And better supported means greater confidence and better care. And just a final thought. As dementia prevalence rises, we must rethink how we equip our workforce. Education needs to be scalable, it needs to be flexible, and it needs to be evidence-based. Because in dementia care, small moments matter. It's the ripple effect that's real. So thank you, and I'm available to take any questions.